What's up, YouTube? Javian here, and this is Warzone. As you see, is back. Got a whole lot of news to run down with you about what had happened, the diagnostic troubles we had, things we thought was wrong with the car, of course, and also what actually ended up being wrong with the car before we ended up getting it back home. Currently, I just got the car back last, I want to say Wednesday. Yeah, last Wednesday. So it'll probably be about a week from the upload of this video. And in receiving the car back, they told me to put 500 miles on the car, change the oil. The car is currently ready for an oil change. And also I have some black emblems that I want to put on the vehicle to like kind of take as much chrome off of it as possible, because chrome is kind of a old school thing. And this is a new school, so, you know, kind of going out with a little bit of the blacked out theme until we figure out what color wheels would be going on to this vehicle. Drag pack, or maybe it'd be a little showroom style. I don't know yet. But anyways, back to what happened to the vehicle. As you know, vehicle went down. Had to get it towed back to the house. As I was driving to the gas station to maybe put some better gas in it, thought it was the bad gas that I had put in it that was making it run rough. The car goes down with smoke out the tailpipes. First thought, the motor was blown. I started reaching out to some of my buddies, some other people I know that didn't had, like, you know, issues with their Coyotes, Gen 2s, Gen 1 and stuff. And what I'm getting back is piston ring failure. So worst is piston ring failure, right? You know, because you don't know how long it's been running with the failed ring. And piston ring failure means that you got a piston and it's a ring around it, and it kind of lets a little oil seep through the ring, depending on how it's gapped on some cars. Failure means it had broken off, oil is now mixing with the gas. You know, it's a lot of damage, valves, could be piston damage, all kind of stuff that could result into the block needing to come out of the car and being tore down. So I get the car towed to my buddies over at Precision Automotive in Hazel Green, out of Alabama. A real good buddy of mine, Tyler Thurman. He's dealt with a couple of my cars before, and he's always been a straightforward guy. They have a lot of knowledge, and they got a lot of people that they can outsource information to. They're primarily LS motors, push rod engines, Dodge Camaros and stuff. But like I said, I trust these people with anything. So I got this car hauled over to their shop. First thing I'm telling them is, you know, it tells gas. I can smell a bunch of gas coming out of it, white smoke coming out of it. It's not oil, because, you know, oil be a darker, different color smoke. This is white smoke or whatever. So I'm afraid it's like coolant or something. I'm not sure. I haven't researched enough into these engines like I did my Gen 2 Coyote to even know what would be problematic in this. So he goes on pulling spark plugs. He didn't see a reason for a compression check off the bat. He pulled spark plugs to check. He checked the 8 outside injectors on the manifold. He checked those, flow tested them, and it was great. Everything came out great. So we start thinking that, you know, maybe just replace some spark plugs. It's the tune. It got to be the tune. If I'm dumping a bunch of gas in it, I had just recently switched to the 93 tune from the flex tune before the problems occurred, so it had to be the tune. Getting on, look, this is a real bad situation with forums. You know, they're a great place for information, but you also got a lot of people that are giving you false information. And that was in my case. I had a bunch of people saying Palm Beach, you know, they're terrible, bad tunes, bad customer support. A couple of people saying they had bad things wrong with their cars. Palm Beach wouldn't help them or whatever. After further digging, their problems were mechanical issues. So I started doing a little more research, come across a video of a guy who's replacing his direct injectors, which is, if you don't know anything about Gen 3 Coyotes, they got 8 injectors on the outside of the intake manifold. And if you lift the intake manifold up, it's 8 more injectors that's going straight into the cylinder heads. Those are your direct injectors. They're higher compression injectors. They're different, more expensive than the injectors on the outside of the engine. So they pulled the intake manifold off. Immediately they could see, I think they said Injector 7. Injector 7 is dumping like a fuck ton of fuel into the engine, and it's to the point to where they know that's the only thing it could be, because I mean it's dumping. The seal on the intake, actually, let me go. If you probably have seen the outside of the intake injectors. They replace those all the time. A lot of people want to go E85, so they have to replace those. But these are the direct injectors, if you never seen those before. And this right here is the problem we have. I don't know if the camera will focus on that. That's terrible. Probably wouldn't focus on it. But a seal on it is like a hole at the bottom where this is supposed to be sealed up, and it's dumping gas into it. So replace this. They take the car and they're running it. It's running a ton better or whatever. It's still a bunch of gas in the engine, of course, from it being dumped so bad. And I mean, it was to the point they jacked the car up on an incline and you could physically see the gas and oil mix dumping out. So now, you know, gas is mixed in with the oil from being flooded out so bad. So they replaced this injector. It took a little longer because Ford sent the wrong part. So they got the right part for it. Installed it back in the car. It's running better. Still running really rich. They go at the spark plugs again, change all the spark plugs one more time. They know there's gas in the oil, so much gas getting dumped in the cylinders. So they did an oil change on it, and then it, voila, I mean, it was burning off gas at first. It was still a ton of white smoke coming off, but it was running without any knocking. And it was a lot harder to track the problem down because this car did not throw any check engine lights or any codes at all. I mean, I kid you not, the whole dash with not one light was on it. So it's kind of harder to track what was going on, other than noticing the air fuel ratio was really rich at idle. So they did a great job on tracking that down and doing it for me. And like I said, they stayed in touch with me the whole day. I mean, probably every day. I hate to be that customer that has the right to shop every day or whatever and wonder what's going on, how far, what problems you run into. But to my amazement, they actually reached out to me, and Tyler stayed in contact with me, whether it's in the day, in the afternoon, or whatever, and let me know what was going on and whatnot, because, you know, the shop was like an hour-ish away from where I live. So yeah, got the car back, drove it back. Did not have to get it towed, drove it back. It drove great. Switched the tune back over to the flex tune because eventually I'll be getting this car dynoed just to see what kind of numbers I'm putting down with full bolt-on E85 or full bolt-on, you know, cold air intake and full exhaust. And we're gonna see what kind of number it puts down on E85. Hopefully we get a pretty good test at E85. It's starting to get closer to the springtime. But yeah, drove the car home. Next day, had a doctor's appointment in Nashville, Tennessee. So ended up taking a trip out of town to get that 500 miles in. That was about roughly 250 right then. Been driving it, you know, on and off. Weather's really bipolar up here. So we're knocking right on, I think 430, 440 miles, something in that ballpark. And we're gonna get that oil drained out. I'm gonna do that on another video, and we're gonna go in with some Mobil 1 5W20. I originally had 5W30 in it because more protection whenever you racking on the car kind of hard or whatever. But they went, in the shop, they went and put Mobil 1 5W20 in it, so I'm going to stay with that. It's 5W20 is recommended in these cars, and full synthetic, you know, gives you more protection longer. So going with Mobil 1 in that aspect, and yeah, hopefully the thing even out, and we'll get it on a dyno here at contacted some people at Soldier 2 Motorsports. Like I said, I'm kind of interested in the dyno because you never know. You know, some people, everybody doesn't dyno on the same dyno. So some dynos read high, some dynos read low. Like this could be a 500 horsepower car on one person's dyno, and you get it on another dyno, and it's probably like 580-ish. But we'll have a number. So any performance mods going forward, we'll be able to tell where it started out and what it picked up. But yeah, this video is more of just a rundown on where we at. I'm finna start back putting out more content on this vehicle, and stay tuned. Like and subscribe. Can't talk. Like and subscribe. We're just gonna keep the ball rolling, man. Small little hiccup. So much stress relief from it not being a whole motor. Because if you know these, you know, a whole long block in these things is upwards $6,000, or just a short block could be like in the $3,000, $3,500 brand new range. So I fortunately came out with like $1,000 bill, which is, you can't ask for a better near miss than that. And you know, hopefully nothing else comes of this issue. It's a Mustang. It's a Ford Mustang, y'all. You know, they're not meant to be babied. They're not meant to be Toyota Camrys. They're gonna go through way more abuse than your average commuter vehicle. Reliability. I got a buddy with a Gen 1 Coyote that's about to have 200,000 miles, and when I tell you he races it, I'm gonna have to get him on the channel sometime, because when I say that car then had a drag racer's life out of it, and when I say he hasn't had a hiccup to where any kind of major drivetrain failure has happened, it's amazing how stout these cars are. So anyways, appreciate y'all watching for the update. It's been a while since I posted a video. Here's a little rundown, and stay tuned. Like, share, subscribe, and we're gonna come back at you with the next video on these badges that I'm taking off and installing some new blacked out badges, how I'm going about doing that. Thank y'all for tuning in.